My name is Sarah Morefield, and I am your field specialist in Clay County, Missouri. It's nice to meet you guys all, and welcome to my house. So we are going to do a really simple demonstration today on Anzac Biscuits. So Anzac Biscuits is a great recipe if you're in international foods. It is a cookie that is originated in Australia during World War I and World War II. It's a super simple cookie, and so I am going to do a quick demo with you. I hope you guys enjoy the recipe at home. I've already pre-measured my ingredients so that it's easier today to get going with you and so that you don't have as much wait time on me. So I've got my oven preheating. You're going to want to preheat it to about 355 degrees. The original recipe was given to me in Celsius. Here, my oven's ready. So I did have to change it from 180 degrees Celsius, which is roughly about 355 degrees Fahrenheit. So to get started, we're simply going to mix our dry ingredients together. So we have a cup of sugar, which is just plain white sugar, in my bowl here. I have 1 cup flour. Now I just use regular all-purpose flour, but if there's any dietary reasons that you would want to switch up the flour, that would be fine. We have 1 cup of rolled oats, super easy so far. And then we have 3/4 cups of desiccated coconut. And so you may not be familiar with that term, but all that means is dried out. So I just have regular coconut in my pantry. So I turn my oven to 250 degrees, and I just let it dry out for 5 to 7 minutes. You get a nice golden brown color, and we're going to take our 3/4 cup of dry coconut and add that to the bowl. So I'm just going to use a spatula and mix that up so we don't have layers of everything. When you're drying your coconut, if you've never done it before, you should start to smell the coconut, and you should be looking for it to get a nice golden brown. Obviously, we don't want it to burn, but if you pull it out before you smell it, it probably didn't dry out. So keep that in mind. So I've got this nice and mixed up. And then the next step would be to melt your butter and add your golden syrup. So I've already melted my butter. It calls for 1/4 pound of butter, which typically is 1 stick if you buy the boxes that are 8 tablespoons per stick, so the standard size. So I've already melted my butter. And I have 1 tablespoon of honey. So golden syrup is an ingredient that we don't actually have in the United States. So when I was given this recipe, I did some research, and honey is the alternative that I use when making these cookies. So I'm going to mix my 1 tablespoon of honey into my melted butter. While I'm scraping, what's cool about this recipe and kind of the story of how it originated is it was a recipe used in wartime to send to soldiers to help boost their morale. So the ingredients were things that you could have on hand that weren't going to be very expensive or out of the ordinary because, again, it was wartime, so we didn't have access to lots of frivolous things. And they were ingredients that don't go stale very quickly. So because they were traveling by ship, to get to the soldiers, people wanted to send a treat that was still going to taste good when it got there. So that's kind of the background story to why I'm using the ingredients I'm using. So once you have your honey and your butter mixed up, you're going to add that to your dry ingredients. You have a lot more dry than wet, so you need to be very careful to mix all of it in really nicely. I like to kind of pour a little bit at a time and then pause and make sure I get that mixed in. So I'm moving the dry ingredients around because I do know that I have more dry than wet. So it's not going to be easy to get it all mixed in. I'm going to give that a mix. I'm going to add in some more. Mix that up before putting in my last bit of butter and honey. Now, if you're really struggling and have way too much dry ingredients or didn't get it quite mixed okay, you could melt a little bit more butter, and that would be okay if you need to get a little bit more liquid in there. You don't want to overdo it and melt a whole lot more butter, but if you needed to get a little bit more liquid, that's not going to hurt your recipe. So I'm going to put the last bit in. So since we're talking about international foods, I told you already this recipe originates in Australia, which is where I studied abroad in college. So I lived in Sydney, Australia for 6 months and got to try Anzac Biscuits, actually this specific recipe. for the first time while I was there, and this recipe comes from one of my best friends from when I lived in Australia. Is his Nana's recipe, so it's his grandma's recipe. So she shared it with me while I was there, and I have taught lots of different students and family members and friends how to make their own Anzac biscuits since I've been home. So this particular recipe is extra special for me. Okay, so we're gonna get all that mixed up so that I don't have any just dry ingredients. I need everything to start clumping together. So it has to get to the wet ingredients in order to start clumping. And then our last two ingredients are really easy. I need 2 tablespoons of boiling water, and I think it was 1/2 of a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda. So in my recipe from his Nana, it does say bicarbonate soda, but bicarbonate soda is just your regular baking soda. So I have my 1/2 a teaspoon of my baking soda. I am going to put my, my 2 tablespoons of boiling water, which is the same as 1 ounce. I'm just going to stick it in the microwave to boil it. So it's such a small amount, I don't want to put it on my stove. And I'm going to keep mixing this while that's boiling. And then I'm going to combine the water and the baking soda first, just the 2 of them by themselves, before I add it here to my bowl of ingredients. So I'm going to check and make sure we've got enough time there for that to boil. I'll come show you. This is what my mix looks right now. So it's very clumpy. It's not going to make a dough like a cookie dough. It's definitely still separated and clumping, but it's all clumping together, which means it'll stick when I put it on into my cookie sheet. Do a little cleanup while we're waiting on our water. Clear these out of the way. Okay. Now, depending on your microwave, you may or may not want to use something when you take it out, and depending also on your dish. The higher quality of your microwavable dish, the less it's going to hurt to touch. If it's getting really hot to touch, then it's probably not 100% microwave safe. So I'm going to put my baking soda into that. You're going to see it fizz up, right? That's a good sign. That's why you add them together first. And then I'm going to add that in. Give that one last mix. Now that I've added those 2 ingredients. I'm just using a spatula to mix. You could use a wooden spoon or a regular spoon even if you wanted to. This should help to solidify it just a little bit more so you can see where it's coming together. And that's it. That's our whole recipe. So now we are going to form our cookies. These cookies aren't going to rise or change a whole lot, so don't expect them to get a whole lot bigger than how you lay them out. So you can either make them very thin or you can make them thicker and they're going to be chewier. I always make mine thicker because that's how Ben likes to make them and that's how his Nana makes them, and so that's what I'm used to, but you can experiment with both. If you're making them thicker, they take about 8 minutes in the oven. So if you're going to go thinner, you would want to check on them probably about at least 5 minutes and keep an eye on that. So I like to use my scoop, but you could use a regular spoon or just use your hands, assuming of course you've washed them, which we should always do when you start a foods project. And I'm going to place them on a cookie sheet. Now you'll notice I have this on my cookie sheet. This is similar to like using parchment paper. It's going to help with non-stick without me having to spray down the cookie sheet and have extra oil. Also makes the cleanup a lot easier. So I'm going to get those cookies on the sheet. Remember, my oven already beeped, so we know it's preheated at about 355 degrees. And if your cookies start to fall, just kind of hold them back together it is again a very dry dough. So it's going to take a little bit more finesse than your standard cookie batter, which will automatically just stay right put for you. Okay. That gives me about the size I want. You can either use your fingers or a fork and kind of squish them down, because remember, they're not going to do a whole lot size-wise, and I don't want them to be in mounds. I want them flatter. But I like to keep mine thick, so I'm not going to squish them too much. Okay, so I have 9 out on my cookie sheet. Probably could have done 12, but when I was talking and laying at the same time, I didn't space them out quite right. And these are going to go straight in the oven. So 355 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 minutes. We're going to set the timer, and then that's it. We'll be done. Okay, so we have about 2 minutes left. You're going to want to look for them to be golden brown on top, but also be careful they don't get too dark. Again, they're not going to grow a whole lot, but you should be looking for that color. You'll notice while I was cooking, I used this time for those 8 minutes. I cleaned up my station, got my ingredients put away, and also started getting the next pan ready. So I have my next pan ready to go in as soon as this one comes out. Yeah, about 53 more seconds left. If you aren't familiar with 4-H, we are a wonderful youth organization that is nationwide and actually global, internationally as well. We work with youth ages 5 to 18. We focus on hands-on learning, leadership, citizenship, public speaking, lots of life skills. Our goal is to make sure that our youth, when they're 18, are career, college ready, whatever their path is. So we do all of our learning through different project areas, whether it be foods and international foods, or something totally different like robotics or horseback riding or vet science. But everything that we do, we believe that the youth are hands-on and the youth are equipped to be leaders in their own organization. So this is just one of our projects in international foods, and I really appreciate you guys stopping in and joining me, and I hope that your Anzac biscuits turn out beautifully and you can share a little bit of Australian history with your friends at home. We're going to turn our timer off. And we have got some nice golden brown Anzac biscuits ready to go and ready to share. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.